So, I bark on a song. Fuck off.
You shake a pretty mean cake, Batman.
I'm about to waste my fucking money on the M&M Funko. I need to stop! Help me!
That's Emmanuel then. What are we going to do?
Sorry I'm late. Bring me that horizon. Afraid I got lost on the path of life.
You gotta go.
What's up, monkeys?
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the show.
And people that don't get women, welcome back to the show. We are your hosts, Roman and Rolo, and so we're gonna keep it short and sweet and to the point because Roland's been dealing with some stuff, and
I'm exhausted.
And yeah, and he has some,
I have not slept very well for like the past week. So I don't know why. I just I'm not sleeping well recently. So I'm just freaking it's catching up to me. I'm just so exhausted today. But I did find the time to watch The Acolyte on Tuesday.
I've heard that it's not terrible, but that it's gonna get terrible later, is what I've heard.
Did you hear that from all the shows?
Yeah, pretty much.
It's pretty bad. So it's gonna be full spoilers, not that most of you care.
Is it like sequel bad or just like bad?
Yes.
What?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So shoot. What happens?
All right. So
I'm actually kind of curious.
First of all, sorry, I have this remote because I want to go fully through this like scene by scene, so I remember all of the bullshit. So if I'm looking over at my TV to go through this shit. So basically, the best actor in it is a guy who just learned English last year, and that's Lee Jung-jae from Squid Game. Other than that, the acting is remarkably flat.
Is he the one that has the yellow lightsaber?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, he doesn't. Go ahead,
John.
Turn him into a real man. Yes, John. Well, either way, his organs are sellable. So yeah, The Acolyte. I did put myself through both of those episodes, and I'm gonna be doing that every week for the foreseeable.
Did you find any form of enjoyment from it? Any or no?
Lee Jung-jae is it. Like I said, the acting other than that is just so fucking flat. The writing is ridiculous. The dialogue sucks. It's like a 13-year-old
apparently
girl. It is like a 13-year-old girl wrote the dialogue. And here's the thing, guys, like we all knew what was coming, right? But I tend to go into every single one of these Star Wars shows with an open mind.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because I could be totally wrong. You know what I mean? Like even if all the leaks out there, like I've read them all, I could be so fucking wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And it actually might end up being good. And
you weren't wrong time?
Nobody was wrong on this one. I did hear about episode 3, Pilgrim. I'll get into that after I go through this. So
is it true that
within the first 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Within the first 5 minutes of this show, Carrie-Anne Moss is dead.
Wait, so they just put her into the trailer to get people to watch it?
She dies, and like everything you see in the trailer is in that scene, and she dies. she dies like in a really stupid way too. So she basically just jumped in to get her paycheck. Now, from what I heard, there's a flashback later in episode.
I mean, I don't blame her, honestly.
Um,
I really don't blame her.
But basically, it starts, and we get that scene of the acolyte. She's not even an acolyte, right? So I have to also start this by describing what an acolyte actually is. And a Sith acolyte isn't even necessarily a Force user. It is somebody who studies the dark side.
Yeah.
It doesn't even necessarily, you don't have to even be associated with the Sith. It's just the Sith had acolytes, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they might wield sabers. They might dress like a Sith, but they're not. They can't, like, not all of them.
They're basically kind of like a historian for Sith, kind of.
Yes, that's how they were. So
yeah.
Already, like, the show is not titled correctly, because our main character is Force sensitive. They spoil the fact that they're twins in episode 2 already, so it doesn't even matter. But basically, what goes down is she walks into the bar. Oh my god, this shit is so fucking stupid. She walks into the bar, walks up to Carrie-Anne Moss, who's sitting at a table with a ton of like big aliens, right? And like a couple humans. And they're all dudes. They're all dudes, right? And you know what's gonna happen. All those dudes are gonna get their asses kicked by this 5'2" girl, and who's like probably 100 pounds soaking wet. And basically what happens is she walks up to Carrie-Anne Moss, and who is Indara, Master Indara. She walks up to her and she's like, Master Indara. And then you get that scene where Carrie-Anne Moss is like, what can I do for you, child? And she's like, and gets all low, and she's like, fight me. I swear to God.
That sounds like a Street Fighter cutscene. That sounds like a Street Fighter cutscene.
Bro, she goes, fight me.
It's cutscenes like that in the new Street Fighter game. I'm not even kidding you.
And then Carrie-Anne Moss is like, nah, I don't have to fight you. Like, there's literally no point to this.
Did she really say that?
So then,
Helen really say that?
Yes, she did. So then she flips the table. She fights. All the men get their asses kicked instantly. And then Carrie-Anne Moss is just dodging her over and over again and just keeps blocking everything. Like, just whatever. And you can tell that it was filmed in slow, like, it was done slowly and they sped it up.
Is this done in the volume? Can you tell, or
no? It not really. No, it doesn't look like the volume, but basically she's like, actually, I believe it's not the volume at all. I think I did read that somewhere, but you can tell like they just sped up the fighting, and here actually I want to get the subtitles on because I got to get some of this fucking dialogue.
Is it like prequel level dialogue? Or
no, it's so stupid. So then, like, the way that she gets Carrie-Anne Moss is like they get upstairs because the character's name is May, right? The character's name is May. May can't fucking fight her, so May disappears upstairs. Woo! And she's like, Carrie-Anne Moss, like, we have an unidentified Force user, and then she like goes up there. I swear to God, the Jedi are basically cops in this show. And then she goes upstairs.
We're always keepers of the peace. And
then she's like, Assassin's Creed style, I'm coming out of the smoke. And like the same fight ensues very stupidly. Oh, and by the way, everybody's trying to run out of everybody's trying to run out of the bar. See you, John. And then she basically like takes a hostage and then throws the hostage from the upstairs to the downstairs. And then Carrie-Anne Moss uses the Force to catch her and then lets her go. And then the Jedi go up. She goes upstairs to fight her. And then she's like, haha, got the jump on you. And then not really, because the same fucking thing happens. And then she does that crappy Force push, pushes her back. And then She starts throwing the
Sounds
knives.
like they drag out fight scenes for literally like zero reason to just like make like the show longer. It sounds
Yeah,
like.
and she starts throwing the knives, and then that's when she pulls her lightsaber off, and she catches her and pulls the mask down, and she's like, "Oh, it's you." Yeah, force push away. Boom, boom, boom. And then she has one knife left that she is hiding behind her back. Or no, she has one up front and she's hiding one behind her back because she's still doing the crappy little stance that she does. And she
Right.
throws it at the bartender who still hasn't gotten out. And Carrie Moss uses the force to catch it in front of the bartender's face. And then as she's doing that, May throws the other knife right in her heart and kills her.
No.
So then Master Endara dies.
Oh.
No, not even close.
No.
Yep, and then she leaves her lightsaber there, and it
Wait a
ends
second.
with her going downstairs. May goes downstairs, about to walk up to the bartender and kill him. By the way, not hiding her face anymore. And as she's about to kill him, she sees that he has like a little kid alien next to him and who's like hugging his leg and is like, "Oh, daddy." And she doesn't kill him. She just goes, "Heh," and then walks out.
So Carrie Moss had a
She
had a
dies before
lightsaber.
the credits even pop, before it even says Acolyte.
I'm saying this chick that she was fighting didn't even have a lightsaber.
No.
So why didn't Carrie Moss just fight through the knives and just kind of be like, yeah, I have a lightsaber and you're dead.
Also, at the same time, she, like when she gets stabbed in the heart,
Right.
May's right in front of her, so like she would have had the opportunity to like force choke her, stab her, pull the knife out, and fucking slit her throat, like anything. She still would have died, but
Agreed.
she could have gotten her. She could have at least cut a
Right.
limb off.
Right. Yeah.
So then we wake up in
This
a
sounds
ship
so stupid.
to the other twin and her little iPhone droid that she called Pip.
iPhone
It's literally a phone, bro. It's like a phone. It can do everything. It's a welder at the same time as a cooling device, at the same time as an alarm clock, at the
Where
same
were these
time
in
as a
any of the movies?
screwdriver, at the same time. And she's a mechanic, right? And this guy comes over to her and he's like, "Oi, mate, you missed a really big party last night. That shit was lit." And then she's like, "No, I was here all night. I wanted to sleep. Last party was too crazy on Nar Shaddaa." And they're like, "All right, cool." And then they get a call to work. They're called mechanics. Fucking sounds so stupid. Mechanics. So they work on the outside of the ship, right? When something goes wrong. So she goes outside. She's messing with the dude because she's, a better, she's a better mechanic than he is, of course. And the Neomoidians are talking shit about the mechanics, and they're like, "We can still hear you, by the way." And the Neomoidians are like, "Ugh, the fuck?" Which the Neomoidians look good, but none of them have the Japanese accent. None of them. So they don't sound like Neomoidians at all. And then she fucks something
so far,
up.
The show sounds like absolute garbage.
So she fucks something up while she's joking with this dude, and there is literally a fire burning in space.
What?
There's a fire. Like a fire pops up out of these tubes, and she's standing there looking at it. She walks over to it, is looking at it, has a little, "Oh, I see fire." And then she gets all scared, and you hear her sister and shit talking to her, and she's screaming. And
hold on, wait a second.
This is OSHA. This is the good twin.
So the fire was in space.
Yeah, it looks like a
campfire. That's not possible.
No, it's not. It looks like a campfire.
That's not possible.
Because it needs a sustained fuel source, but fire in space doesn't even look like... It looks like there's wind blowing the fire. It looks fucking bad. So
there's no oxygen in space, so fire can't even grow.
She's using her little droid to put it out, right? And then they see a Jedi ship coming in, and they're like, "Oh, the Jedi." And then that's when we get fucking Yord, the black dude who thinks Yord. Yeah, his name is Yord. and he comes in wearing his gold Jedi robes from the High Republic with the white cloaks on, and he's got a
You
little.
can tell that
got a
George
little
didn't write these
fucking-
characters.
He's got like a little mixture between like a human and a Khajiit as a Padawan, and of course, she's better than him at shit. And he walks in and he's like about to mind trick the Neimoidian or something like that, and then the female Neimoidian's like, "Yeah, this mechanic, she's here, she's in this room," and they're like, "All right." So by the time that Osha gets back to her room, Yord's sitting on her bed, and he sits up and he's like, fixing his robes, and she's like, "Yord, good to see you." So then we find out that she used to be a Jedi, and she left like 6 years ago.
Of
Yeah.
course. It's always 6 years. It's always 6 years.
And then you have little fucking Khajiit Zabrak human girl Padawan is like, "Where were you last night and what were you doing?" "Oh yeah, seems really convenient that you were asleep here and no one saw you. You sure didn't kill a Jedi?" And she's like, "The fuck?" And then they're like, "Master Indara is dead." And she's like, "Fuck." So then basically she gets then they go and they bring the bartender, right? Because the bartender saw May's face. And then she's like, the bartender's like, "That's her. She changed her outfit." And
Are
they're
they
like,
the same color? Are the twins the same
they have not
color?
seen each other in fucking 16 years or something like that. They haven't seen each other in 16 years, and they have the same hairstyle. Both of which thinks the other sister's dead.
How's that possible?
It's not. It's ridiculously stupid. So then she's like, "You're making a big mistake, but fine, I'll let you arrest me." Now, neither of the Jedi go with her onto the prison ship. A droid takes her onto the prison ship, which is then piloted by 2 droids that turn into chairs. So there's a security droid walking around with a baton and 2 chairs with heads. That is the prison ship. And then she's on there, and then we get a Coruscant. We get that scene where Lee Jung-jae's character, Master Soul, who actually is like the most interesting character in this show.
Fat Jedi?
Yes, there's a fat Jedi in episode 2.
Jedi watching a Padawan dress? What? What is the show, bruh?
Yeah. And then Leslie
The show was
Headland,
written by sex
Harvey
traffickers, so I mean,
Weinstein's- he's doing it. It's the scene where we got the trailer where Soul's like, "Close your eyes. What do you see?" And of course, the little black Padawan girl is like, "I see fire." And he's like, "Fire symbolizes change, just like water does in a vast ocean. They're the same thing." And it's like, oh, cool. That was good dialogue.
Would it shock you if they found a way to get like Omega in here somehow, even though it wouldn't make any sense?
Bro. Then we get Vernestra Rowe coming into the building, into the room, and on Coruscant, and she's like, she's played by Leslie Headland, the director of this, former Harvey Weinstein's personal assistant. Her wife plays Vernestra Rowe. And
what?
Vernestra Rowe is a character from the High Republic who was on the council at 15 because she's just the bestest ever, right? She's the one who has the lightsaber whip in this show.
Is that the bald green chick?
That is the bald green chick, yes. And she comes in and dude, the fucking plank of wood that is her acting. She's like, "Master Indara is dead." And Soul's like, "Wow, that sucks. Like, what the fuck happened?" And she's like, "It was your apprentice. She is in custody." And they're like, he's like, "It couldn't have been her. No, like why would she ever kill Master Indara? Like, Master Indara and I saved her when she was a kid." And she's like, "Well, she's on her way to Coruscant in a prison ship."
Does she really sound like that?
Dude, her acting is so fucking bad. And and she's like, "This would be really bad for the media if it got out that your former apprentice killed a Jedi Master."
The media.
We already have bad press with the media as it is.
I've never heard that ever brought up
in.
in.
Not, dude. I shit you not. So there's going to be a defund the Jedi in this. They're literally the police. They are literally the police. So then it fucking continues. He's like, yeah, hold up. Let me skip past this thing. And we are 17 minutes in now. We are 18 minutes into this. He's trying to convince her that nothing happened. Then we go back to the fucking 3 droids on a prison ship that are the guards. There's this fucking dude lying in a cell with a face hugger on his mouth, groaning, and she, Osha, the good twin, who's in her own cell, looks over at these guys in another cell, and these guys are like, "Oi, did you really kill a Jedi?" And she's like, "No, wasn't me." They're like, "Why are you on the prison ship then? We're planning an escape. Let's get out of here." And she's like, "I mean, and go where?" They're like, "We're going to steal an escape pod." And she's like, "You'll be caught anyway." They're like, "Nah." So then they look over at a dude in another cell who is, I don't know, an amalgamation of like robot eyes. It's like, it looks like Lobot. If Lobot was fat as fuck, had no mouth, and just had a black rectangle for eyeballs with lights on it.
What?
Yes. And this dude's whole body is like robotic, right? And they're like, "Now." Oh, and they explain that the little thing on the dude's face, the face hugger on the other dude who's just laying down in a prison cell. They're like, "Yeah, it's a parasite that they use on really evil criminals."
Right.
He goes, "It makes your brain all weird." He's like some fat alien. So they're like, "Now." And then that guy literally just looks out of the cell, Robot Boy. He looks out of the cell, and his lights go to, and then the 2 droids piloting it just shut off. Could have done that the entire fucking time.
What?
And they just shut off, right? And then fucking dude with the thing on his mouth is still like, "Oh," he's just lying there. And the other dudes, there's like this fat fucking alien in there, and his head has like a tentacle on it. It just goes like this, and it grabs the one guard droid and breaks its fucking arm and head off.
Does he look like Bib for Bib
like
for tuna? Or...
looks like a fat shark with a tentacle on its head. And
yeah, Bib's got the tentacle on his head.
Yeah, so then they all lock both their doors for the 2 cells on her left and her right. And then she's like, "What about me?" And they're like, "Good luck, Jedi killer." And then they all hop into the fucking escape pod and shoot off, right? So then she's struggling back and forth as the ship is now like getting all fucked up. I don't even because the pilot's turned off, it hit some asteroids. So now the ship is careening towards this planet.
Of course.
And of course. And so they're like, "Good luck, Jedi killer," and they shoot off in the escape pod. So there's one escape pod left, right? And as the ship is like fucking with gravity and shit, she's trying to get her little droid, which like falls on the ground, and it's just sliding back and forth, so she can't reach it. So time for her to tap into the Force. No, she can't do it. And then the droid slides back over to her, and she's like, "Oh, of course, why now?" And then the fucking droid slides back over to her, and she's like, "Pip!" And she turns him off, like pulls his fucking head off, and now he's a fucking laser cutter that she just uses to fucking break the door controls. So she gets out, and then she's thinking like she's about to run to the escape pod, and she's like, "I can't leave Crazy Joe over there." So she fucking gets the guy with the face hugger on his mouth, gets it off. The face hugger like jumps on the wall and goes up into the vent. And the dude just starts screaming and pushes her aside and jumps into the fucking escape pod and dips. So now she's stuck on this ship careening towards the planet, right? Yes. So then after that, everything is...
She's going to live, though.
There's like fires inside and shit's exploding. And she ties herself to this like chair. And then ship crashes on Carlisle. Right. And then we get back to the Jedi Temple, where Soul's new Padawan is X-23 from Logan.
I don't know. I like her, but
Yeah, her
yeah.
hair looks so fucking stupid. And she's like a little kid in this. Not even a little kid. She's got to be like 14, 15, 16, something like that. And of course, she knows more than everybody else, right? Because that makes perfect sense. So she's always talking shit on Jedi Knights. And she comes in. She's like, why do you have pictures of your old Padawan, who is Osha? We find out. It's the girl who's on the prison ship, right? It's Osha.
Oh, okay.
Why do you have pictures of your old Padawan? You're not supposed to form attachments. And he's like, it's learning lessons. Memory is a good thing. And then they're like, okay. So then they go, because they find out that her prison ship crashed. Or no, they've already caught these prisoners, and they're already back on Coruscant. The guys that shot out in the fucking escape pods, right? So they're back on Coruscant now, like in these little jail cells in the Jedi Temple. And Sol opens up to the crazy guy and walks into him. And he's like, the Jedi killer, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, quiet your mind. And he quiets his mind. And he's like, I left her. She saved me and I left her. And then Sol looks back at Vernestra Rowe and he's like, see? She's still good. And then Vernestra Rowe's like, that literally means nothing. And
It
he's
doesn't
like,
prove anything. Yeah.
yeah, literally. And he's like, well, she must still be on that ship. So we have to go to Karlak and get her. And they're like, oh, well, no one's going to sanction that. And he's like, just let me take my Padawan and somebody else. So, of course, he takes Yord, the guy who thought Anakin blew up the Death Star.
Wait, what?
I'll show you that clip after this. So then he takes Yord and his Padawan, and we get before that, we get a scene where she's waking up on the ship, and it's all fucked up, and it's snowing there, and she's cold as shit. And she grabs her droid and she turns around, and in the doorway is the shadow of somebody. And then the shadow turns around and just starts running. So she runs outside into the snow and she's following this shadow. And we go back to the Jedi Temple where we get a scene of them getting on their ship to go presumably after her. And Yord is ironing his Jedi robes shirtless. And he's like, oh, Master Sol, good to see you, sir. And then he's like, good to see you too, buddy. And he walks away. And then we get Padawan girl, and she's like, Yord, put on your clothes. And then just walks away. And then their ship flies off. So now we get Osha back on Karlak. And she's running around. She's running around through the snow following this little shadowy figure. And the shadowy figure turns around. And she's like, May? And it's this little black chick. So she's having a force vision of her sister or something. And I want to get the exact fucking line here, dude, because this shit is fucking ass and titties. It's bad. Wait. Hold on, let me see this.
I kind of want to watch this myself just so that I can see how bad it is.
Bro, and then it's snowing, right? And she's looking into the face of this little girl. And then now she's in the woods all of a sudden. So she's like force projecting shit like Kylo and fucking Rey.
Wait, what?
Yes, when they talk to each other in The Last Jedi, it's basically what she's doing. But she's like, we're on Brandok.
They were just
girl,
like Skyping each other. Nice.
The little girl's like, Osha. And now all of a sudden everything around her's on fire. And the little girl runs away and she turns around. She's like, wait. And then the little girl's like, you're with me. I'm with you. Always one, but born as two. And now they're in their house as little kids.
What?
Hold on, bro. This is the dialogue. And she goes, as above sits the stars. What is it? And below lies the sea. I give you you. And then Osha finishes it and she goes, and you give me me. And that's how she knows it's her sister. And now they're both little girls.
I give you me.
And she's like, May, is it really you? And these little girls suck. And she's like, did you kill Indara? And then May's like, yes. Little girl. And then her eyes turn black and she's like, I will kill them all. And then Osha wakes up from this fucking dream. And she's back in the ship. And she's still all chilly, and she's like, oh, what the fuck was that? And she's like freaking out, right?
Uh-huh.
She's like, Pip, May's alive. And then we go back to the ship with the Jedi, and they're on their way to Korlak, and Soul's explaining to her to his Padawan, why he believes that she's still good. And the Padawan's like, I ain't buying it. And then Yord's like, I ain't buying it either. I should have gone with her. That's my bad. They're like, yeah, that is your fucking bad, retard. Like, you should have gone with the prisoner who might have killed a Jedi. No, I'm going to send it on a ship with 2 droids that can't move because they're chairs and one guy with a baton who's also a droid. That's a good idea. On a ship full of, like, 10 prisoners.
Bro, you already know that, like, Yoda's so pissed, bro. Yoda has got to be pissed at this point.
Yoda's not even in it yet. God, I hope he's not in this at all.
Yoda is confirmed, isn't he?
No. I think they said that he's not in it, but I don't believe them. I think they just said that. So then they instantly find the crashed ship on this planet. And she looks up through the hole in the ceiling and she's like, oh, fuck, Jedi ship. So she runs out into the snow. And Soul and his Padawan and Yord are right behind her, basically. And he's like running through the snow, and she goes into a cave. And then she runs off, and there's a cliff. It ends in a cliff. And she's like, oh, fuck. And then Yord pulls his lightsaber out. It's yellow. And he's walking around. And Soul's like, don't. I will get her. And he's like, Osha, step away from the ledge. Osha, no. And she's like, whoa. And then he grabs her with the Force and pulls her back up. And then they have like a little dialogue where he's like, I believe you. And she's like, oh, good. And then they're like, Soul's like, put away your weapon to Yord. And he's like, and the chick's just the Padawan chick, Jackie, that's her name. She's standing there with handcuffs. She's just like, and he's like,
she really wants to. She like really wants to cuff her, huh?
Yeah, and then we get to the end of the episode when they're like, I believe you. They walk off together, and it cuts to the beach. And this is where we get the dialogue was bad already. This is where we get even worse dialogue.
Oh no.
This is where you see Smilo Ren for the first time.
Oh, the smiling character?
Smilo Ren, yeah.
Smilo Ren.
Hold on.
Is it a chick? It's
gonna be a chick because it's voice changed, right? And all you're hearing as she's walking on the beach is the Jedi live in a dream. A dream they believe everyone shares. Hold on. If you attack a Jedi with a weapon as she's walking on the beach, you will fail. Steel or laser are no threat to them. But an acolyte kills without a weapon.
I mean, that part seems to sound like it's accurate.
Kills the dream, and then he ignites his lightsaber, and that's the end of the fucking episode.
Bruh.
Episode...
So the Acolyte is Smilo Ren?
Probably. I guarantee you. I'll wait till I get to episode 3. I talk about what I've heard from Chris Gore about episode 3. So now let me get to episode 2.
Oh gosh.
Revenge / justice. Yeah, probably, Pilgrim.
Yeah.
Probably. Let me skip this fucking recap because I don't give 2 shits.
They actually put a recap in there? Yes. Why?
I don't want to see that at all. Not with these unattractive women. So then we switch to this planet. It starts on this planet called Olega. In this little.
I thought you were gonna say Omega. It's just
Nah,
no.
this little kid runs up to a building,
Yeah.
which is basically a little like a small Jedi temple, like a little Jedi police station in the middle of the city. And this little kid's like distracting the droid, and he looks over at the alleyway, and he's like, and then the acolyte chick, well, the fucking chick May, she throws a little thing, like I don't even know what it is. It's just like a little cut like disc. She just tosses it on the like the droids that pop out of the wall like a Jabba's. It's like that, but it's got a square head. It's like winky, that type of shit. So she fucking like throws this thing on its head, and it just goes, meow, and it just goes back into the wall, and somehow like the doors are now unlocked. So she walks into this Jedi temple.
Nice.
The little kid runs away. And she's walking through the Jedi Temple with her hood up and a mask on her face again. And she's like hiding behind the wall from two Jedi, right? And then she starts walking down the hallway, and
Wouldn't the Jedi feel her?
A Jedi just walks right past her. Just walks right past her. Now, this is the middle of the night. She walks into this room where there's a guy meditating, but he's floating.
Uh-huh.
Presumably, this is the next Jedi that she has to kill, right?
Right.
This dude looks so fake. Dude, let me show you a picture of this guy.
What do you mean he looks fake?
He looks like a 10-year-old wearing a beard. I shit you not.
What? I have to see this, bro.
Master Tobin.
Master Tobin.
The Acolyte. Images.
Damn.
Bro. Yo, he does not look like me.
I have to see this now. Dude, he's AI generated. He's AI generated. That's not
Bro,
real.
They literally just slapped male pattern baldness on him and gave him a fake beard.
That's not. Who's he played by? That's not real. That's not real.
He's played by this dude. That's apparently in episode 3.
Wait, that's him?
That's him, younger. So, yeah, so he's just meditating there.
Bro, what?
I'm gonna stop sharing this now.
Yeah.
He's meditating there, and he's floating, and his eyes are closed. Like he doesn't even give a fuck that she walks in, and she does the thing again. She goes, "Fight me, Master Tobin," and he just keeps meditating. Like, bitch, shut the fuck up. And yeah, so she does all these moves and tricks to punch him and beat him, but he's got a force field around him, so she can't. And her fist like stops like 3 feet away, or like 2 feet away from him. So then she jumps off the wall and does a backflip and tries to kick him, and that doesn't work either. And then she takes a knife and she's like, yeah, and she still can't get through his force field. And then she hears somebody coming. Yeah, she's trying to like kick and fight him for like literally like a minute straight. He's just floating there in silence. She can't touch him. And then this Jedi walks in, and he's like, and she like disappears up into the rafters, and then he looks up and he's like, huh, a skylight. That's definitely a good idea to leave a skylight open when we have security all around the fucking floor. So then she disappears. And then it says, bum, 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 the Acolyte.
How's the music going on this show?
Bad. Oh, dude, they actually use an Attack of the Clones song, like, in this.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What song? What song?
I don't remember the exact scene. I just remember hearing it and being like, Attack of the Clones.
Wow.
So then we switch to another scene where now Osha is on the ship with Soul and Yord and Jackie. And Jackie's like, I still think you killed the Jedi. She's like, yeah, I didn't. She's like, well, I think you did. And they have that conversation. And then Soul's talking to Yord, and Yord's like, I still don't trust her either, bro. He's like, well, you trained with her like when you were little. He's like, yeah, I know, but like, I don't trust her. Then Soul's like, she had a twin sister. And he's like, what? She never told me that. And Soul's like, yeah, but I saw her die. He's like, okay, maybe you're right. Maybe she didn't kill him.
That sounds like a CW conversation.
Bro, this is worse than some fan films I've seen. Like, straight up. So then Soul, like, walks into the ship's, like, fucking, what's it called? Cockpit. And Leslie Headland's wife pops back up, Vernestra, and she's like, hey, by the way, I convened with the council. They still want you to bring her back to Coruscant. And he's like, all right, sounds good. It's a good idea. And then
does she really talk like that slow? Does she talk
yes,
that
dude,
slow?
her dialogue is shit. So then they take off, and it switches back to the planet Olega, which, like, the set looks good. Like, most of the sets don't look that bad, be honest. But
So, like, would you say aesthetically the show doesn't look that bad?
yeah, I get that.
Okay, it's fair.
I get that.
I get, yeah.
So then we switch back to May, and she walks into this building where a little drug dealing Asian dude is there. And he's like, hey, he's asleep. He's like cracked out. And she's like, wake up, dickhead. And he's like, huh, you're back. You're alive. Did you kill him? I heard you killed that other Jedi. Is this one dead? And then she's like, nah, he's got like some sort of force field around him. And then he's like, oh man, it's too early in the morning for this, yo. I need a drink. So he starts making himself a drink. And then he's explaining how in order to kill this Jedi, you can't use a weapon because he won't like that if you use a weapon. He's talking about
like it.
He's talking about Smilo Ren when he's saying it. So he's he's like, he doesn't want. Don't tell him that you used a knife to kill the first one. And he's like, I won't tell him if you don't tell him because that won't end well for either of us. And she's like, I agree. And then like this whole time he's making a drink and like making a little orange thing. And then he starts explaining to her how in order to kill this Jedi, you gotta make like he's not seeking death, he's seeking absolution or some shit. And then he pours something else in this little vial and it turns green. And he's like, get him to drink this. So it's poison. And she's like, cool, thanks. And he's like, yeah, no problem. I'm going to keep dealing drugs. She's like, all right. And then as she walks out, we switch back to the ship, and Soul's talking to Osha, and he's like, you got a tattoo? And she's like, you don't like it. And he's like, it fits you. That's fine. Doesn't matter what I like. And then she's like, I missed you. It was a crazy night, the night that me and all my mech neck friends got it. And he's like,
Neck? I forgot that was their name.
He's like, yeah, that sounds fun. And she's like, yeah. And then she's like, May's alive. I'm pretty sure, but I had a vision. And then we switch back to Olega. Oh yeah, and he's like, he says that he got contacted by Vernestra, and Vernestra no longer thinks that Osha did it because a person matching her description broke into a Jedi temple last night on Olega. So therefore, it couldn't possibly have been Osha. And then she's like, well, you four, the closest ones, you should go there and convene with the Jedi in their local temple. And he's like,
This show
cool.
has like this show has the writing of like The Flash. The show. The
Yeah.
Flash.
So then
Like it's that bad.
so then the four of them show up. The four Jedi show up. Well, the three Jedi and Osha show up there, and they walk up to the Jedi temple where I guess
Right.
like the local master, like Grand Master of that temple or whatever, comes outside, and he's like, bring the kid. So they caught the little kid, the little kid from the beginning of the episode. And this whole entire time that they're having a dialogue, May already sneaks back in through the skylight, and she's walking up to Tobin. She's got a little green vial of Schlurpo on her fucking chest, whatever the fuck you want to call it. And they're talking, and then Fat Jedi Boy comes out holding the kid, and he's like, "Oh, little kid, tell him what you told me." And he's like, "She did. She's the girl. She paid me." And then she's like, "But she was wearing a mask, different clothes." And they're like, "Nah, she's been with us. Trust me, it wasn't her." So then this fat fucking Jedi is like, "Oi, I'm a fat fucking Jedi." And they're like, "Yeah." And they're like, "We'll bring you in. Let's go talk to Master Tobin." And they're like, "Well, Master Tobin took the schmoogagly googly vow. He hasn't spoken in 10 years." And
Did
they're
you
like,
say did you say
I don't know what they called it. It's like
shishmuggly googly va?
Yeah, they're just making up words at this point. So then we're 13 minutes, 14 minutes into this episode now. And nothing has happened but conversations. And so but not even interesting conversations. So this whole time that they're walking into the temple, they're like, "Let's go see Master Tobin." Soul's like, "He'll speak to me." They're like, "He hasn't spoken to anybody in 10 years, though." And he's like, "But he'll speak to me." So then
He
they
won't just be able to talk. The muscles in your like mouth wouldn't be able to talk after all that time. It would take a long time.
I have a lot of questions. Like, has he been floating there for 10 years? Like, how does he pee and poop? Does he eat? Where's his nourishment coming from? Why is his beard not fucking hanging to the ground? Like, none of
someone shaving him? Is someone shaving him?
Yes, like I have no idea. He's just been in a meditative state, or like does he just not talk? Like that's not explained. So this whole time it's taking them like fucking 40 minutes to walk through the Jedi Temple, which is tiny as shit, to go and get to his room. And this whole time, May walks up to him and she's like, "Hey, bro, it's me." And then it's May. And then Tobin opens his eyes and he's like, "I've been waiting for you for so long."
He talks?
Yeah, he finally talks. He's like, "I've been waiting for you for so long." And then she's like, "I bring you absolution." And then he's like, "Ah, I see." And she hands him the poison. And she's like, "I forgive you, but kill yourself." And he's like,
She says that?
No.
She says that?
"No, but that's basically it." She's like, "I forgive you. Here's your absolution." And he's like, he takes it, looks at it. He's like, just drinks the fucking poison. And then Osha.
This show sounds so stupid.
Osha has now split off, right? She split off from the
Uh-huh.
other three Jedi. And because she kind of senses her sister around, I guess. So she goes to Master Tobin's room, somehow gets there fucking before them.
She's going to be blamed for it because she said
So she walks, but George saw her walk
Predictable.
away. So George saw her walk away. So don't worry. And then she walks in, and Tobin's just on the ground. So she's like, "I know what to do." Oh, by the way, the vial of poison is left on the ground. It's empty, but it's just left there. So, by the way, she then walks up to the body, touches the body, closes his eyes, picks up the vial, which now, because Soul sensed that he died or whatever, he was in danger, Soul's like running. It's still taking them fucking forever to get to this room that somehow she got to first. And then they walk in and they're like, she's holding the fucking vial in her hand. And she's like, I can explain. And the other Jedi whips his lightsaber out. And he's like, the guy who's the local master. And he's like, yo,
Right.
it was definitely her, bro. Look, she killed him. And Soul's like, you better start, or Jackie, little X-23. She's like, you better start
Right.
explaining. Start explaining now. And then fucking Yord's like, she didn't do it. And he comes out from behind the shadows and he's like, I followed her because I saw her break away. They're like, oh, okay, cool. So that's basically it. They're like, do you have any and then it just cuts to like drug dealing Asian dude. And he's like, he looks like an Asian Ezra Miller with a beard. Like a mustache and like a little beard and like longer hair. And now the Jedi, the three of them, Soul, Yord, Jackie, and Osha are up on this like fucking balcony with like Yord's got binoculars, and they're like looking, and they ask Fat Boy Jedi to like, "Yo, dude, is this like?" Jedi. They're like, "Is this the only alchemist in town?" And he's like, "Oi, yeah, he's the only alchemist in town, but I never seen him before. Usually, it's another guy." They're like, huh, right. All right. And Yord's like, I have a plan. I'm going to walk in there. I'm going to ask him if he knows May. And then if he doesn't tell me, I'll have to mind trick him or I'll just stun him and take him with me, and whips out like this big fucking stun blaster. And they're like, Matt Rissman, leave the poor Padawan alone. And then they're like,
did you like this show, Rissman? Did you like this show?
And then after that, Soul's like, nah, man, we should have. Or Osha's like, no, I'll just go in there because I look like my sister. So I'll be dressed up. Like, I'll just put a robe on. Yeah, it was, Matt. It was. And Jackie's like, I like her plan more. Let's go with her plan. And Soul's like, you can do this. Yes. So then, she's like walking and they're like, we'll be watching you and we'll put on a device on you so that you can, we can hear you, like a listening device. All we need is for him to say that he knows May and that he helped kill the Jedi, right? So then she walks in there and he's like, you're acting kind of weird. And she's like, hey, hi. And he's like, hi. And she's like, yeah. And he's like, did it work? Did the poison work? And they're like, that's all we need. Move in. Right? And he's like, oh, it's not you. So he's about to dip. He's like, you look just like her. So it is true. Yeah, I mean, the Neomoidians looked good. I said that, but none of them have the accent. So then,
so things look good, but like that's like really it. Things just look good.
Yeah. So then the Jedi block the door.
Yeah.
And Soul's like, tell me where she is or whatever. And he's like, I don't know. She'll be back tonight. Just don't wipe my mind or whatever you Jedi do. And he's like, all right, meet with her tonight. Or like expect her to come back tonight or whatever. And then they leave. And he's like, whew, that was scary. And then that's over, right? So then it switches to nighttime. And May's explaining how she already killed it. Osha's explaining how like May already killed Indara. She already killed Tobin. So that means the only two Jedi that were on Brownaka or whatever, or Brownnock or whatever, Bell Rock, whatever the planet that she grew up on was, where the she's like, I hate my sister. She started that fire and killed my whole family. And they're like, yeah, both your mothers. Of course, she has lesbian moms. Yeah, so they're like, both your mothers, yes. And I saw your sister die. It's crazy how she's alive. And she's like, yeah, and I'm mad about it. She's like, yeah, she killed my mothers. They make it a very big point to keep reiterating that she has mothers. And then fucking, they have a little conversation where she's like, if need be, I'll stun her myself. And he's like, no, let me go. She's like, well, obviously she wants to kill you too. And then the only other one left is Kalnaka.
What do you want about Pilgrim? What happened? What happened?
Yeah, I don't know.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, so then Soul is like, I'll go find her. And Yord is fucking using binoculars, like, on a 2-story building. He's, like, up in a 2-story building on the balcony, looking at the fucking alchemist shop. Oh, dude, I know. I heard about it, Risman. I heard about it from Chris Gore. I'll get on to episode 3 in a second, just what I know so far. Because we're already almost done with this fucking episode. So then...
I can't wait to hear about this.
Jackie's in a ship, and she is like, Yord, you stay up in the balcony and watch shit happen. And Soul's going to be down there, I guess. So then May walks up, and Soul walks up behind her from the other side of this, like, opening in the city. And he's like, May! And she's like, oh, and turns around and sees him. And then they have a little scuffle. And then he pulls her mask off. And then Yord moves in. But by the way, he's watching this entire fight through the binoculars. Like, bro, you are literally, like, on the second story. Like, you could just look and see it. Like, why you're looking through the binoculars?
What's any binoculars for?
Yeah, literally. It'd be like if I looked out my window and saw my dog in the backyard, but I'm like, I need binoculars. Like, stupid as shit. So they're having a little hand-to-hand combat, and she keeps trying to grab his lightsaber, but she can't. And then she's got the knives, and he just fucking grabs them all and catches them and throws them away. And then he's like, move in. And then fucking Jackie flies in with her ship. And she's like, from like a microphone on the ship or whatever, she's like, by the order of the Galactic Republic and the Jedi Knights, you are under arrest. And then Yord and Soul are like surrounding her, and Soul like takes his hand and he's like, come with me. I can save you. I can help you. Who's training you? He keeps asking. He's like, who's training you? Who's training you? Who's training you throughout their entire little scuffle? And she's like, right. Oh no, my goose is cooked. So then she
doesn't say that, does she?
She sees on the ground that there's like dust. So she goes, whew, and makes a big dust cloud and disappears. And then Jackie's like, we got to search the city. And they're like, shut down the exit so she can't escape. They're like, all right, cool. So then that happens, and she's running. And she throws this fucking alien dude out of his little speeder. And she gets in it. And then she looks to her right, and she sees Osha standing there with the taser gun. And she's like, Osha? And then Osha is looking at her. Yeah, that's literally what I was thinking, Matt. The ship has sensors. The dust doesn't block sensors. I was literally thinking the exact same thing.
Bro.
So,
excuse me.
Osha, now May finds out that her sister's alive because she didn't know that. The dark one, right? The bad one. And then the good one's like, and shoots the fucking thing to try and tase her and misses completely by fucking 6 feet, and it goes past.
He's definitely cracked.
And
for sure, he's definitely cracked.
Hits a light bulb, and then May escapes on the speeder and drives away. And then she tries to shoot her a couple more times and misses. And then we get back to Tobin. Or not Tobin, fucking Soul. And he's talking to Leslie Helen's wife again on a little hologram. And she's like, I convene with the council. We need you to come back. Because I agree. Stuff's bad. And he's like, yeah, Tobin's dead now. And she's like, that means Kalnaka and you are on the list. And he's like, fuck, you're right. And then that's fucking done. And then we switch back to the morning time, and they're still in the city. And Fat Boy Padawan is up on the balcony, in the exact same place that they were watching the alchemist shop. And then some chick walks over with cookies, another Padawan, and she's like, "Here, Fat Boy, here's some cookies." And he's like, "Oh, cookies! Nom 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 nom." And he stops looking for a second, and
You're joking, right?
Miller fucking dips out around the corner. Little Asian drug dealing Ezra Miller fucking dips out from around the corner, and he's about to escape. And then May jumps at him with a knife, and she's like, "You betrayed me!" And he's like, "I can get us out of the city. Follow me. I'll repay you like that." Because either way, he's not gonna like this if we get caught.
Right.
They're like, "Oh yeah, that's a good point. Get me out of the city." He's like, "Yeah, I can take us to planet Schmaldon," or whatever the fuck he says.
Schmaldon.
No, Kofar. He's like, "I can take us to planet Kofar. It's a jungle retreat where no one will recognize us." And then they're like, "Okay, cool." And then that's the end of that. And then we see it pop up on the screen. Oh yeah, a thing they continuously do in this show is mention a planet multiple times, and then show the planet, and it'll be like Olega. Just pop up.
Seriously?
It'll pop
Seriously?
up. Or it'll be like, what's the fucking Ueda is like the first one. And then
What happened to Star Wars doing
Karlak? They're like Karlak. You know?
What happened to Star Wars doing as like a establishing shot when it came to a planet where there was a ship flying like into it? What happened with that? What's so hard about doing that?
No, this isn't even flying. You're already in atmosphere. It's already like a ton of trees, and then it just goes Kofar.
Why?
So then we
That's
switch
not so
to
stupid.
Kofar, and we see these two like guys that are probably like scrappers or smugglers, or like two dudes walking through the woods, and they're talking to each other. And at first it kind of sounds like Huttese, and then they literally just start like chaka chaka buka taka chaka chika boo, and he's like buka chaka chaka makalaka. Like, I swear to fucking God, bro, that it's like they tried to do it for the first couple of sentences, and they were like, just make sounds. And these two dudes are making sounds, and they're like, there's subtitles, right? So then they're like, and it's like crashed ship. Let's scavenge crashed ship. Pakachakaluka, Makakalaguka. And then they walk up, and then they hear like brrr, and they fucking messing with Sasquatch comes out of the woods. And it's a Wookiee. And the Wookiee can use the Force. So this is
no.
This is
It's the Wookiee in the trailer.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so Cal Naka must have been out like grabbing stuff from the woods, because he lives there now, apparently. And he's got a little satchel. So he force grabs the gun, breaks it in half, throws it, and the two guys are like, Makakala Pooba! And they like run away. And then the Wookiee walks towards the crashed ship, opens the door, and that's the end of the episode.
What?
Yeah.
That's the end of the episode?
Yep. So episode 3 apparently is a flashback where we get to see both the mothers of May and so I heard all this from Chris Gore yesterday on the Nerderotic Nooner. But yeah, so
I mean, that's gonna be hot though if we actually get to see them conceive.
We're not gonna see that, and they're not gonna be hot. It's the fucking chick, probably the chick who's like, yes, Star Wars is so patriarchal, yes. So they have like this little coven or whatever, and we get the kids' flashbacks, and the way that the kids are conceived is this one witch lady uses the Force or some shit to fucking impregnate her wife.
What?
So the twins are born the same fucking way Anakin was born, without a father before Anakin.
So they're Palpatine now. So they're basically Palpatine now.
Kind of, sort of, in a way. It's so fucking ass. So she's like, apparently the two of them somehow conceived the twins. And there's actually a line that explains that the fucking the galaxy is homophobic. They're like, the galaxy isn't kind to women like us. That's a real thing. So apparently, like, they're in this flashback, and then like something happens. You like see Cal Naka at the end or whatever, and apparently he's in episode 4, the Wookiee Jedi dude. And
How many episodes are there?
8.
8? Oh. So we're already more than halfway through by the time the episode 4 ends, we'll be through with the nightmare. When can House of the Dragon drop so that like no one talks about the Acolyte?
The House of the Dragon comes out on June 14th, I think, or 16th.
Cool. 16th, I think.
It's a Sunday. It's Father's Day, so I know what I'm doing that night.
You and your pops should definitely watch that.
No, I'm gonna do whatever he wants during the day if I'm not working, and then I'm gonna watch House of the Dragon. He don't fucking watch House of the Dragon. He hasn't even watched season 1.
Oh, damn. George literally just said that droids are the only species that they have that they have a prejudice against. That's what I always thought too.
That's why it was so. That's why it was so out of pocket that Palpatine was speciesist. He hated aliens. Hated them. He was
accepted Thrawn though, right?
That's why Thrawn is the only Imperial alien.
Right.
Because he found use in Thrawn. Too much use.
So
his use overweighed Palpatine's prejudice.
But Palpatine, he didn't seem like a prejudiced dude. Like he wanted power over like every single person. It seemed like.
Yeah, but he does not conscript anybody into the Empire who isn't human.
Now, is that something that George came up with, or did Disney come up with that?
George came up with that.
Oh, okay. So Palpatine's racist then.
He's speciesist.
But that makes sense because Palpatine's a bad guy.
Yeah.
So
the Empire is Nazis. So
yeah. The
Empire is Nazis, and the rebels are based on the Viet Cong. A small rebel cells.
Yeah.
Viet Cong. Or Polish freedom fighters from World War II.
Right. So Leslie Headland, right? Pilgrim, screw you. But so Leslie Headland said that like R2D2 is like a lesbian. R2D2's a dude. That's not even.
Hold on.
That's not even a possibility.
They call him he all the time.
Right.
Here, actually, I have the clip. I only retweeted it just so I had it. By the Wrath, we are happy to report that hashtag the Acolyte is arguably the gayest Star Wars yet. Happy Pride Month.
It's pretty gay. Let's be honest.
It's pretty gay. Let's be honest. All right, are you ready for this cringe?
Yeah, just play it.
I want to ask you both because this is, I would say, arguably the gayest Star Wars. I think by a considerable.
This is the gayest Star Wars. Listen to her fucking laugh, dude. Yes, it is.
By a considerable margin. And are you excited? Are you
not the gayest Star Wars? Not the.
What the fuck are you
pretty
doing?
Gay, let's be honest.
Not the gayest Star Wars, and he's like, it's pretty gay. Let's be honest. You're like, oh my god, they're just jerking each other.
Wait. Okay, let me ask you a question. What is the gayest then? If this is not the gayest, what is the gayest?
This is Star Wars gay.
Let's be honest. Leslie, how do you feel?
Am I gay? Yes.
Well, no, I know you are gay, but I'm asking, are you excited about?
We know, Leslie.
This is going to be a talking point.
We know.
Is it going to be a talking point?
I'm sure.
Because nerds are gay.
Is it going to be a talking point? Listen to what this fucking. Oh my god, what she says. Oh my god.
Nerds are gay.
Yeah.
Some nerds are very not gay and are very.
Nerds are gay.
I mean, some of them are, but not all of them.
Fascists are fucking gay too. Like, there's gay people everywhere. Jesus.
I'm sure some
Because nerds are gay.
Well, some nerds are very not gay and are very threatened by gay
Well, that's
stuff.
true. But
Yeah.
in
Are very threatened. No one's threatened. We just don't fucking want ideology pushed in our shit. I can give a fuck. I know gay people that are just as pissed at this show. Trust me.
I think
I'm
most
friends with
people
quite a
just-
few gay people, and they do not like this show either.
I think people just in general are just pissed at this show. Like, it doesn't even really matter the leanings. It's like
It doesn't.
like everyone's mad at this show. Everyone is. So
my world, nerds are gay.
okay.
Was this the fun elements of?
No, I don't think so. And yet people have told me that it's the gayest Star Wars, and I frankly
You're offended?
into
You should
it.
be-
No.
I think that Star Wars is so gay already.
Okay.
I mean, have
What?
you seen the
How?
films? We'd be like, look how gay this is, and then sending.
What?
Okay, no, like people like remember when we were in like high school and like something
Elementary
stupid,
school, middle school.
we would say that shit is so freaking gay. Like, I'm trying to be kind. Maybe she means it in that way, but
does.
even so,
She
that's
doesn't,
freaking
she's
terrible.
non-binary, Roman.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Each
see.
other reference photo.
And are you telling me with a straight face that C3PO is straight?
They're a couple. That's what I think.
He's a droid.
Who
He's a
let
fucking
her in the
droid.
writer's room? Who let her in the writer's room? I'd rather Dave would have written this,
This is
show.
more outward.
I think it's canon that R2D2 is a lesbian.
Oh,
Ooh.
interesting.
Yeah.
Huh.
Ask Filoni. Okay.
Ask for
Can you
one.
imagine?
Yeah, talk to Filoni.
What?
This is Star Wars now.
Wait.
This is Star Wars
Hold
now.
on. Hold on. Is R2D2 a dude? R2D2 is a male droid. How is he a lesbian?
It's canon to her.
C3PO is gay? He doesn't know anything about romance. Why is C3PO?
Because he's gay.
See, I'm seeing this from like an outside lens. I didn't watch this show, so I don't have the vitriolic hatred for it that you have.
I don't have
But
vitriolic
this-
hatred. It's just bad, dude. Like I said in
Yeah.
the beginning, I went into this with an open mind. Maybe this will not be as bad as we all think it will be. Like I said before, Lee Jung Jae, best part about it.
He's Soul, isn't he?
Yes, and he's a guy who just learned English last year.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Or like within a year or something. Like when they started filming him in the show. Like he learned English.
C3PO is
Why,
not gay.
he's just
He's
British.
just British.
Shout out to my Brits out there. Dude, it's just so cringe. Like all of the press around this is so cringe. Like, and I think they definitely released it during Pride Month on purpose.
I don't. Here's my thing. Why is nobody asking Leslie like how'd you get this? Okay, no, listen. Okay, Disney does not care about morals, but like, does nobody in like Disney have a functioning brain cell that they can think, hey, didn't she work with that dude who did like terrible things and helped him to cover it up? Like, does no one in Disney care?
I mean, they all knew about it in Hollywood. And
That's
did
what I'm
nothing.
saying.
They all knew
That-
about it and did nothing.
That's what I'm saying, though. So shouldn't that be the topic of a conversation? Really,
No.
is
No, because
like
In another interview, she says that she called Kathleen Kennedy and pitched this show to her. And when she showed up with the drafts, apparently she's a victim as well, she said.
Of Harvey.
No, but
Of
she
Harvey?
never got raped by him.
Oh.
So yeah, dude, she is just
You don't get what he means.
Usually I tell
What-
people like usually when it comes to these actors or actresses and stuff like that, I say, I'm sure they're a very nice person. They just suck in this show. Like Daisy Ridley is a very nice person.
Mhm.
The character sucks.
She's not even all that bad of an actress. It's just that Ray's not good. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. She's not that good of an actress. But again, nothing against Daisy Ridley. Right?
She can burn in hell, bro.
Absolutely nothing, like nothing at all against Kelly Marie Tran, who played Rose.
Yeah.
It's just Rose Tico fucking sucks.
Yeah. Yeah. You're
Like,
not gonna
you
give
wanna
that
hate
same
she
sort
got,
of
like personal attacks are not all right, man. Like you don't personally attack an actor or actress. Like that's just not cool. But these people hate us. They've made it very clear that they hate Star Wars fans. Very clear. And it's obvious. And in another interview, Leslie Headland, former Harvey Weinstein's personal assistant, who most certainly didn't know what was going on behind closed doors, even though she walked the women into them.
By the way, did you hear that he's getting a new trial?
It's not.
Did you hear that?
Not a new trial. I already looked into it. It's not. They talked about it on Side Scrollers. It's not a real. It's basically just they're re-looking at it, but nothing's gonna be. Yeah, she did play victim too much. I agree, Kelly Marie Tran. But still, I'm sure she's fine. But
hope he's not gonna. Hope that there's no shot that he like gets out of jail.
He won't. He won't. They just have to re-look at it in a different state or something like that.
Oh, okay.
But that's true, Daryl. It was mainly the media. Star Wars fans didn't do it. And actually, I'm pretty sure there's a spot where Kelly Marie Tran did come out and say that most fans weren't the ones coming after her. It was the media. So, in another interview, Headland says that she spoke to Kathleen Kennedy in person, and when she read her the draft for the Acolyte, Kathleen Kennedy cried because it was so good. And the reason that she created this show, she explains, is that her and her sister had a falling out, and she created this show in hopes that it would bring her and her sister closer together in real life. So this is the definition of a self-insert show.
I wonder how well that's going to work out for her.
It's all about lesbians. It's all about her putting herself in. She is May in this situation, and her sister is Osha. Now,
if I was her sister, I would never talk to her.
So I heard that in episode 3, we get to meet both of the mothers, the lesbian moms.
Yeah.
And
I don't think so.
Apparently one of them might be alive.
Oh no.
That's gonna be Smilo Ren. So Chris Gore called it first. Let's see. And he goes, I will not be surprised if there's actually a scene where she goes, I'm your mother. It's going to be like the Taskmaster in Black Widow, where it's supposed to be a dude the entire movie, and then they take the helmet off and it's a chick. Guaranteed.
Okay, no, but
I can guarantee you when Smilo Ren's helmet comes off, it's a chick.
I was one of the few people when it came to the Black Widow movie. I literally was like, Taskmaster's a female. There is literally no way. Like, because like she moved faster than him, she was like more agile than him, and she didn't act like him. So I literally was like, that's a female. But agreed, Daryl. 100%.
Yeah, so
I am your mother.
yeah, so I agree with Chris Gore on this. What he said is going to happen is eventually the two twin sisters are going to work together to fight Smilo Ren, and they're going to want to bring Smilo Ren back to the light, and the helmet's going to come off. And apparently, Leslie Headland already confirmed that Smilo Ren is non-binary.
What?
Yeah, Smilo Ren's non-binary.
Who cares?
Apparently, everybody. So when that helmet comes off, it's most likely the mother.
Okay.
And she's going to be like, down with the patriarchy. Yeah. And then Star Wars is so patriarchal. Yes, queen. Fucking slay shit. And then when they go to bring her back to the light side, she's going to be like,
His name is Fema.
yo. So apparently, like, this is what Chris thinks. When her mom, by the way, shout out Chris Gore, he's fucking awesome. Follow Film Threat. And I'm glad that he's doing so much better after his stroke, because he did have a massive stroke. That's why he hasn't really been anywhere for the past like month or 2 months. But yeah, he's doing better now. So shout out to Chris, who by the day is looking more and more like Robert Meyer Burnett, which is crazy. When you put a beard on Chris, the two of them are almost like identical, and they're good friends too. It's fucking funny. But and RMB, Robert Meyer Burnett also. Yes, thank you, Pilgrim, for tossing in the Film Threat YouTube into chat. Thank you.
Good job. Thank you, Pilgrim. You're fast. Wow.
Yeah, that was good. He's the quickest mod in the West. But
he's the best mod in the West.
Yeah, and the East. But yeah, so apparently they're gonna fight, and then they're gonna try and bring their mother back to the light if this is their mother. But he's calling it. I kind of see that now that I know about episode 3 and 4, and she's gonna be like, "No, I am your mother. Listen to me," and it's gonna be that line, "I am your mother." They're gonna be like, "Look, guys, Star Wars fans, we gave you a Star Wars line, but switched a word." Fuck you.
You know,
apparently this is going to get worse than The Last Jedi. Apparently this is worse than what they did to Doctor Who in the Timeless Children episode, which is universally hated by Who fans. It's just like, because it completely, it's not that it fucks up a character, it fucks up the whole system, the lore of everything. They're going to fundamentally change how the Force works. And apparently there's actually a definitive definition that the Force is female.
Didn't Kathleen say that some time ago or something?
She's wearing a shirt that said it. She's wearing shirts that said the Force is female, but apparently they're actually doing it in this show.
I don't know how that's physically possible. That's the only thing.
It's not, because the Force isn't. It's a fucking magical field. It penetrates us. It binds us. It holds all living things together. That's what the Force is.
That's literally what Yoda said. That's what
what everyone said.
Oh no. Yoda said the Force is in the tree, the rock, luminous beings we are, not this crude matter. Yes, yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna go into another interview, and
I mean, we can't stop it now anyway, so there's no point in trying to fight it.
So all you people, I know nobody in our chat right now thinks this, but all of the people who think that Dave Filoni is gonna be the savior of Star Wars, let me show you one better. Oh my god, yo, it ratioed. Ha ha! Ratioed, bitch. Let me do you one better.
Is that him talking to Leslie?
Force. That sounds good.
That does
Let's
sound
do
good.
that. Actually
Let's do
sounds
it.
really good.
Tell me about the Acolyte.
I'm sorry, just you asking me that question is making me.
Bro, she sounds more manly than him. Tell me about the Acolyte.
Is it? That's all right.
Yeah.
It is a big deal to a lot of people. It affects people in different ways, and this is your story, so.
What I was interested in examining were the Sith.
Which you're about to explain that you fundamentally do not understand the Sith.
Bro, they showed Darth Vader after Leslie Headland.
Bro, she's about to explain to you that she fundamentally does not understand the master-apprentice dynamic between the Sith.
Master-apprentice dynamic. If the apprentice is craving the master's power, then at some point he must recruit his apprentice to overthrow
What?
the master. And
That's not how that works.
What?
That's not how that works. That's not how that works. That's never been how that works. The Sith are all about fucking power, being powerful enough on your own in order to take out your master. You gain enough power, and guess what? 90% of the time, the apprentice's own hubris gets them killed.
Wasn't that the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise? That was literally the whole. That was literally the whole point.
Here's the thing. Over the history of the Sith, they're not bitches, yo. They don't go out there and go, I need to go and find myself another apprentice and train this apprentice so that we can double team my master and kill him. No, because then you did a bitch move on him. You fight your master one-on-one. That's why Palpatine waited until Plagueis was drunk. The one time he let his guard down, the night that Palpatine became the Chancellor, they partied.
Yes.
Two of them.
Yes.
And he waited until his moment was right where Plagueis passed out and he electrocuted him to death. Because guess what? Palpatine was smart enough to know if I fight him in single combat, I'm fucking dead.
Yeah.
90% of the time, the apprentice's own hubris gets them killed.
Yeah.
They don't go out and find an apprentice to then go kill the master together. That's not how that works. The only time that was ever a possibility is when Vader says, Luke, we'll rule the galaxy together. But he never fucking says, I'm going to kill, the two of us are going to fight him.
Exactly. Right. Right.
He's like, just join me and together we'll rule the galaxy.
Yeah. They say it without saying it, though.
Yes.
They say it
That is
without
the
saying it.
Acolyte.
Yeah.
Right.
Who trained you? You don't wake up thinking you're evil or that you're the bad guy, as explored by George's Anakin.
Yeah, I don't think Anakin ever thinks he becomes evil.
I agree,
life,
and I think a lot of the characters.
You know, except for the part when Vader actually tells Luke in Return of the Jedi, it's too...
Anakin's dead.
Yeah, no, he literally says, he goes, it's too late for me, son.
Yes.
The Emperor is too powerful.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
He knows that he's done fucked up shit. He knows that the Emperor got him.
In the Acolyte have to convince themselves that they are
doing the right thing.
They're doing the right thing.
This is the Clone Wars.
Yeah, no kidding.
Ahsoka was such an interesting character to me.
When
we started, we had it very much a shell shock moment for her that she was out of her depth. And I'll never forget it. George watching it and saying, you guys are taking this a bit too seriously. He went on to explain that, like, even at a young age, she's not out of her depth for any of this.
I had a similar experience with the character Jackie. There was a note from somebody that was, wouldn't she be scared on her first mission? And I remember you telling me about that story.
Jedi training has to be valuable. It prepares them for the galaxy.
Do or do not.
Do or do not, there's no try. That's like, if you're trying, you're not actually doing it.
I had to do that with Acolyte for sure.
What?
My agreement with myself was whenever it overwhelms you that you're doing your dream, you just have to do it. Honestly, the times that I felt the most worried was not the
when I was
special
trafficking
effects, the
women.
fighting choreography. It was the emotional stuff.
These things that George understood.
Because you don't understand a fucking thing about this.
Why are they talking about George? Why are they talking about George for it? They can't just make it their own thing. They have to like talk about George.
Yeah.
Why?
about filmmaking, understood about iconography, are things we still try to tap into.
It's the Western. It's the samurai film. It has to feel elevated, but it also has to feel like Star Wars. Basically, what George created, it's the North Star.
And you guys are so goddamn far from anything.
George created a story about a boy who didn't know what he was doing with his life, and then he found purpose fighting for a larger cause. That was what he wrote in the first story. That was the point. Was that the story that he wrote was about Luke learning to find himself, who he actually was.
Oh God. I got one more thing for us.
Filoni is definitely a hack, but it took me until Mando season 3 to realize it. I'm not gonna lie to you. Actually, no, I did that back. Book of Boba Fett was actually like when I realized it.
Yeah, Book of Boba Fett was terrible. I don't know how you take a character like Boba Fett and find a way to make him boring. Even Tamara Morrison said that. Like, shouldn't I have my helmet on the entire time? Shouldn't I be killing a lot and not being nice to some fucking teenagers that stole water?
How do you make Boba Fett boring? That's not possible.
I got one more thing for you.
Oh, please, no. Please don't. No.
Your parents aren't gods. You know what I mean? That moment when the kind of shatter comes and everybody becomes just human. You have a little bit more empathy, but it also creates this kind of like, I feel like I've been lied to or manipulated in some ways. I think that's some of the experiences that Yord is terrified by and may come to experience, but I can't really talk about things. But yes, I did get in trouble for this answer at Star Wars Con. I got heat.
Yeah.
And in my mind, it's so funny to me because it literally, as a person who's outside and just a fan coming in, that was what was so beautiful and interesting to me. You know, people have been talking to me online about how
he's also the guy who said at Star Wars Celebration that there's no good and evil in Star Wars.
That was him? That was him that said that?
Very clear. And it's Darth Vader is such a bad person. It's very clear, and it's very well established from those actions. But if you can't look and see that Anakin blowing up the Death Star possibly killed millions and millions of people, I'm going to get in trouble for saying this right now.
You should just shut up.
It's
You
just
should
like,
shut up. I
but
love
that
you.
is,
You should
but that
shut
is
up.
the beauty of this story, and it's the beauty of
Anakin blowing up the Death Star. But he said that twice. Twice in 2 different interviews. He said that Anakin blew up the Death Star. Now, I could accept one time you fuck your words up, you say Anakin instead of Luke, but this just proves the man knows nothing about what he's in. And you don't have to know anything about like a movie to be an actor in it, but you know nothing about Star Wars at all. Everybody, even if you haven't seen Star Wars, you know generally that Luke Skywalker blows up the Death Star. Most fucking people know that. I can walk down the street and go, yo, somebody tell me who blew up the Death Star. And I'll give you $2.
You're gonna say Luke Skywalker. Yeah.
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 And like, I could walk up to like a group of homeless people and be like, yo, who blew up the Death Star? And you get $5. I'm getting Luke from somebody. Now, saying that twice, either he literally knows nothing about the Death Star or the movies, or
he's just saying that to piss people off,
or he thinks that when Vader threw Palpatine down the shaft, that blew up the Death Star.
It clearly blows up after that because Luke carries Vader to his ship.
It blows up after that because Lando fucking blows it up from the inside out.
I know. He's in the Falcon when it happens. Yeah. Yes. We all know that.
So that
everybody knows that.
That is the Acolyte, everyone. We have 6 more episodes to go. And I will be here for every single one of them.
What a show. What a show, man. What a show. Wow. Sounds so stupid. I don't know why. I don't know why people just like.
I don't know how you manage to make. I don't know how you manage to make a show about Sith so goddamn boring.
Yeah. Yeah, nah, facts.
And it's not. Like, here's the thing. Here's the other thing. You could set this 1,000 years ahead and just make it a forgettable Star Wars show.
Exactly.
You know,
like
you
just
put
like
it 100 years before the rise of the Empire. So give or take before the Phantom Menace, it would be about 80 years before that. So there's a lot of stuff you could fuck up.
that's crazy. It's annoying. You know, bro, I don't even want to talk
I
about
can't wait
this
for House of the Dragon,
anymore.
bro. I need something. I finished Black Sails and now I'm like, shit, I have to watch The Acolyte. Black Sails was great. It's good.
Well,
pirate, I highly recommend.
well,
It's like Game of
yeah.
Thrones pirates.
Yeah. Well, Rolo has got to get out of here, and I got things that I gotta do. We're sorry that we had it short today, but we wanted to get on here so that Rolo could talk about the Acolyte, and we will be back with our regularly scheduled bull next week.
Yes, with another Acolyte review for episode 3. Then the week after that, though, I'll do my Acolyte review, and then I'll talk about House of the Dragon. But
bro,
you'll have to watch that episode, dude.
I will.
No, I have to be somewhere at 3:00. I have a doctor's appointment, so I have about 3 minutes.
Yep. All right, y'all. Until next time.
Thanks for hanging out with us, everybody.
Love you guys. We'll see you next